All right, now we bring in former Speaker of the House, Fox News contributor Newt Gingrich. I think America will tolerate a day or two of some infighting and a little back and forth and a little squabbling. Here's what I don't understand. If we already know where McCarthy stands in terms of investigations, he's going to investigate the FBI, the DOJ. He's going to investigate the origins of COVID, the withdrawal from Afghanistan, and also Joe Biden himself and the money that he and his family made and whether they sold access. On the commitments to America's side, he's laid out a very specific agenda. Then you have the motion to vacate that he's agreed to with only 5 members needed to get it started. So that seems like an insurance policy to me. Why such resistance?
You know, I can't explain it. I understand that you could have 1 or 2 or 3 people who are crazy. But the fact that you had 19 people vote 3 times, and then Byron Donalds joined him on the grounds that he didn't have the votes yet. But even then, that means you have 20 people voting against, they're not voting against McCarthy, they're voting against the House Republican Conference. The conference was 10-1 in favor of McCarthy on the floor. He got 85% of the vote when there was between he and Andy Gibbs in the conference itself as to who should be the speaker. And these people are taking on their shoulders, setting a standard that any 5 members of that conference could go out and destroy everything. You know, Lincoln in his first inaugural warned that the problem of secession is once you establish that principle, then everybody can secede from everybody. These 5 people need to take a deep breath tonight and ask themselves, are they really want to send a signal that every 5 people in the conference can screw up everything for whatever reason? And believe me, I know from personal conversations that last night, 3 of them went in and presented Kevin McCarthy with 30-some different demands, most of them involving personal advancement. I mean, they weren't talking about ideology. They weren't talking about principles. They were talking about who gets which committee, who gets to be chairman, things that clearly are an effort to blackmail all of the rest of the conference. And I think the rest of the conference understands this is a core decision. Do the 202 win or do the 20 win? And in a free society, you cannot, just as you can't give in to terrorists and you can't give in to hostage takers, you can't allow them to take the conference hostage and win. I hope that in a conference tomorrow morning, when people have had a good night's sleep, have a chance to talk, I hope they can find some key policy, not patronage, a key policy position that'll bring back enough of the members to get this over with on the first ballot tomorrow. I'm personally not all that shaken. We had 9 ballots to pick a speaker in 1923. We had 133 ballots to pick a speaker in 1855. So this is not unprecedented. And even in the case of Pelosi, she had to negotiate with people, get several of them to vote president and stay out of the way. So, you know, currently, this is not a disaster. But if these people don't take seriously their responsibility to their colleagues, not to Kevin, but to their colleagues in the conference, then I think it could grow into a disaster.
And Kevin has a lot of people he represents here. You have, he got 203 votes earlier today, and he needs 218. Now the question is, you're right, what exactly are they holding out for? I've been asking people and talking to some members and those that were telling me they were going to oppose Kevin. I said, okay, what is it that you want? Why don't you meet with them? Why don't you make a list? I can't tell you how often I heard nothing back from them. Or if I heard one thing and then Kevin said yes to it, like, for example, in the case of a motion to vacate, then the bar got higher, then the bar shifted, then the bar changed. At what point does the American people and Republicans around the country say they've had enough with this? Somebody said to me, well, this is a great exercise of a Democratic-Republican action, and Americans will be inspired by it. I said, I beg to differ. I think they're going to get sick and tired of this pretty fast.
Look, I think a number of these so-called insurgents, whatever you want to call them, are actually putting their reelection at risk right now, because people are going to look up and say, you know, how can you hold the entire party hostage? How can you hold the House hostage? Who do you think you are to have this kind of authority? And I had talked with Kevin early on and said, just be aware, excuse me, the last night they will come in with a whole new set. They came in last night with 30 additional demands. 30. Now that says, I'm going to vote no, but I want to tease you. I want to play with you. And I think it's pretty insulting to every member of the conference who stayed with Kevin. So you have a 203 to 20 choice here. And in most free societies, 203 is a bigger number than 20. I'm not sure the 20 understand that yet, but maybe by tomorrow they will.
All right, we'll see. Mr. Speaker, thank you for being with us.